Welcome. This is Barry Jones from Angelic Wisdom, and we're here for our weekly Ascension Angel Messages for June 23rd through the 29th, 2025. So, as we enter into this last full week of the month of June already, um, the months are just going by extremely quickly, and so much happens in what feels like such a short space of time. I don't know what to say about that and what that really means for us, but it definitely shows that our timeline for the ascension process is accelerating, and it's condensing a lot of the lessons and experiences that we're going through. So hang in there, of course. But I'd just like to welcome you back. Also, welcome anyone who's new to our Angelic Wisdom community, and to remind you to subscribe if you haven't done so already, to like the channel, this video, and also leave your comments. If you would like to get an angel reading with me, you can go to my current website, theangelschool.com/services. And if you'd like to support my channel with a donation, you can select my PayPal me link for Angelic Wisdom LLC. I'm now officially done with the school year, so I have to assume after my jury week, which will start in this week, the 23rd, hopefully I'm not called, but you never know. So I will let you know when that's done, and that I will be available for readings from 12 noon to 6 p.m. Each weekday. And unless I, have a lot, I will leave Saturday open in the afternoon after 2. But if I have a lot of things going on in terms of readings, then I'll have to leave the weekend for myself. So just making you aware of that time, those office hours. I will be working on the monthly Ascension Angel messages as well for July, sometime during this week. So be on the lookout for that as well. So let's take a deep breath together and really tune in to the messages from our angels. And so just allow yourself to relax for a moment and let your heart just release any burdens that it's carrying right now. Whether it's not someone or a group of people that we need to forgive, and instead find a way to love. And that love is for ourselves. Be present with what you're feeling, but be also aware of how it's affecting you and what you need in order to find peace and to alleviate the pain and suffering that you're carrying in your heart. See a pink, gold pale pink and gold light emanating from your heart. And see this vortex of light expanding all around you and opening up a portal through which you can begin to step through and heal, reconcile, and forgive. And in some instances, surrender and accept, but trusting that on the other side, there are rewards and opportunities and new level of experiences if we're willing to go through this vortex of healing. And notice the name or the image or the thoughts of those that we need to make this journey with. It might include yourself. And just for now, see yourself taking any steps towards and or through this vortex of healing and unconditional love and compassion. And as you step through, see yourself releasing energy from your heart and from your soul. And as your heart opens wider and expands, even if it feels slightly painful, allow yourself now to be aware of bigger situations that are on the same path of healing that might be global. And allow yourself to go to a place in the world where you open up your heart even wider and higher to access this same portal of healing for a nation or a group of people. And notice the potential outcome when we're allowed or able to surrender these bigger problems of conflict just as we would for ourselves. And just notice the peace that comes within. And then it shifts to the work and the life and the purpose that you lead that brings you total fulfillment. And the service of your fulfillment brings the same to others. And just contemplate the advancements that this makes for our planet as we are all surrendering and allowing ourselves to be blessed by our gifts and indulging in the fulfillment of those gifts that are in service to others and their fulfillment. And hold or capture a quick snapshot of hope of what this might look like for you, or what it might feel like for you. And take this feeling or this vision, this knowing or understanding into your heart, and let it blaze as a divine tribute to peace on earth and peace within yourself. Come back to this as often as you need to help you to expand that vortex of healing and connection with your I am. So as we tune in to this week they write, your job is really to be centered and grounded, to really focus on healing as peace. The healing that brings peace, the rewards of peace. And how this brings an end to suffering, not because something turned out the way we wanted it to, but because we realize that in surrendering, we get what our soul really needs to thrive and to have a fresh start and to be exposed to better opportunities in place of those conflicts or battles that we were harboring and seeking some kind of justice for. Our mission really is peace on earth. That is the mission of this planet itself, its whole purpose, the whole karmic cycle can only end through our surrender to the mission of peace. Earth was created for the mission of peace, but the peace could never be had through force or battle or through any kind of debate or blame. The only way to and through the gateway of peace is to surrender everything. Confess it honestly and surrender it all. And then, in the aftermath of this event, which will create a sense of chaos within yourself, it's really a battle between your ego and the knowing of your higher self, and that part of us that is resistant or not understanding or wanting to understand what our higher self, our I am presence, is conveying through energy, through a language of understanding, heart understanding. You can talk to whomever you want to talk to. You can seek guidance from whomever you want to seek guidance through, but the answer, the ultimate answer, the other answers will be band-aids. But the only true healing of the scars and the wounds, no matter how deep they are, is surrender towards peace. Surrender as an aim and direction towards peace. So I see the word centeredness and paying attention to energy. If your energy is unable, seems like it's unable to rest. And this image comes to my mind that I was so blessed to see with a friend of mine yesterday on the Hudson. It was interesting that the water, the river seemed glassy, although it was waving. And what it was waving because a boat had gone by earlier, but it was very glassy. And in this moment right now, it gave me this sense that because it was glassy, it seemed peaceful, yet there were waves, right? And the waves would almost sort of indicate disruption in that sense of peace. But the water, the surface of the water was still reflecting calm, even though it had the waves that were coming towards us was from the disruption of that ship that had gone by. And it just reminds me of, I don't know, well, I do know, but it reminds me of this idea that peace is not that everything is what we want it to be, but peace is that we understand that everything is what it needs to be. And that we accept that and we're okay with that. And we don't have to struggle with that because we know that's something beyond us. But what we do know that that is within us is where we're meant to be, where our focus is meant to be, what our acceptance of things is meant to be. That it's just, it's okay. Or as the old spiritual says, it is well with my soul. It is well with my soul. And I think that it is well with my soul can only come from understanding where your soul is anchoring you, and in what does it anchor you, and wherever that anchor is placed, that is what you are. That is your purpose. It is your. It is the foundation of you being who you are meant to be, and being about what you're meant to be about in every circumstance, no matter whether it's a storm or it's a calming, it's tranquil. This is not how you determine who you are and what you're about or and supposed to be about. So let's take a look at the Archangel message for this week. And it's Archangel Jeremiel. It says, learn from your challenges, relax and trust. And in the background, we see that waterfall. And that river flowing over that cliff is inevitable by gravity. But it also takes us into sort of a rapid shift, right? And there's sort of a crash and then an easing out gradually. And it gives me a sense that that's what they mean by relax and trust. We know that there's a process always. Just like that cliff and the water flowing off that cliff inevitably, and the water crashing into the next level, and then eventually smoothing out gradually. And everything goes back into that sense of flow until there is some other obstruction in the path of that water. But inevitably, whatever that obstruction is, the water always flows around and through and down and up through whatever comes. And that is very much our soul. Just like that river, our soul continues to flow and flow into every place that is inhabitable, and eventually into places that were not there at first, but it slowly over time opens into places that where there were weaknesses, eventually it created, and it finds its way into wherever it needs to flow. And so even when it seems like you and I are sort of up against a wall, just know that if you can be consistent to who you are and what your purpose is, and not worrying about the circumstances around you, then you will know that whatever those circumstances around you that are holding you back, they will eventually be replaced or removed, or will no longer be that obstacle, that they were at some point. And so then we're learning something from all of our challenges, that if we're patient, if we remain true to who we are and being about what we're meant to be about, that those things that challenge us, they will eventually no longer be there, or they will somehow be smoothed over. But there will be this sort of drop off, this crash, and then this eventual easing out of our circumstances. And if we surrender through this inevitability and focus on our inner being's foundation and home state of peace, then we will create less lessons, right? We'll create less conflict, less disturbances, because if we shake and shift it too much, then we create more waves, more disturbances by responding to the distractions and the obstacles. We have to be more like the river and just flow with the flow of the river's pull and gravitation, and let this very essence of ourselves, of our beingness, be that which heals, makes right, brings justice, brings wisdom to all involved. So relax and trust. And the way you can do that is to know who you are. And your soul is the river. And if you can trust in that, your soul as the river, an active consciousness and force that has impact on the things that would concern you, and let it do what it does instead of adding to the problem and now making it something bigger that the river has to now contend with. Relax and trust. How many times have I told myself I did all of that and it turned out to be all right anyway? Like, why didn't I just cruise through the situation instead of putting up such a fight when I didn't need to exert my energy in that way? Right, the cards were laid down from right to left, so this is something personal that we need to take stock of for ourselves at this time. And this is the Two of Pentacles. In this deck, I believe, I can't remember all the card. I know Bastos is Wands, and the Swords is Espadas. Yeah, I think Cups is, Copas or something. Yeah. Yeah, so this is the Two of, and it looks very similar to, because I just spotted the card in the deck, the Two of Cups, the Copas. So that's interesting. It doesn't give the appearance of this conflict or trying to juggle in the way that the typical card does. but it does really reflect the numerology. And it's interesting. I just want to pull this out. Here's the Two of Cups, and the energy is kind of very different. It's almost like reflective here, like, reflecting inwardly. But here, this card is almost like with all that light. It's more of the sun, the masculine divine versus divine feminine of this card, and it gives us a sense of really that we need to balance our circumstances, the things that are going on around us, right? That and it's like she's you know in a position of power. I don't know why I feel so compelled to compare these two cards, but I keep coming back to it. Um, the direction that one is looking, to the right, this one's to the left, and the eyes are different. Her eyes are It's in her eyes. There's a bit of a sternness in the eyes, slight sternness. And this one, these eyes are more relaxed and reflective, so there's more action in these eyes. And this one, she's looking forward, which tends to be like looking forward to the future. And this one's like to the past. And it gives us a sense of, we need to really reflect about our actions. All right. And it's like reflect on our actions, reflect on our work, reflect on our roles, who we are in this physical world and how we're manifesting. And is it balanced? Are you creating more strife, or are you having fun? And do you need to figure out how to have more fun instead of life being so serious about so many things? And I just saw the word negative appetite. One can develop, if we're not balanced, we can develop a negative appetite, uh, towards life. Um, I don't know why I just saw the word Dragon Odyssey for some reason. Um, all right, let me pull a dragon card. How about that? Let's take a moment. We don't have a lot of time. We got a lot of crystals on the table. The dragons can help us with the dragons can help us clear energy, especially, you know the dragons also really help take us into those dimensions. Like, it really accelerated dimensional work for me when I started working with the dragons. And they can clear those lower frequencies that the angels cannot go into, for us. And so help us to go a little bit deeper into what it is that we might be creating, and help to really lighten our hearts um, and our burdens and our work. So the card I pulled is the Fire and Water Dragon card. And it says, enables your life to flow with loving force. Prepare for a change to move forward quickly. Expect the unexpected. Have fun. Isn't that crazy? All the words that we just talked about, flow and fun, especially. But I love that it says enables your life to flow with loving force. So we need to think about that flow, um, that we're flowing with a loving force, and not with some kind of, like, we're trying to, in a way that creates restrictions. Sometimes if you do something, you handle something in a certain way, it's going to cause restrictions rather than flow. I just want to kind of put this card in here. So this is the water dragon is green and the fire dragon has the orange colors. This is a fire and water dragon sort of, I don't know the word I'm looking for. It's so simple, but I'm sure you all hear it in your head. Barry, it's that word. Um, but it's like, so anyway, um, so it's so interesting. We need to figure out, you know, a way for ourselves to have more fun and to go with the flow, to trust that change, that whatever you're going through, it's leading you somewhere. The fire dragon clears um, your way, your path, and the water dragon, creates a lot of flow, brings in that Christ um, frequency as well. All right, let's see what the other cards. So we have the Eight of Wands, which just really speaks to what I was talking about at the beginning, like this rapidness of the year, the months, and sort of there's a condensing of a lot of lessons happening in a short periods of time. So this is really saying that our ascension process is really picking up, and in practical ways, it's talking about your life is, whether you're ready for it or not, but you are, or else it wouldn't be happening, is going to go through a lot of changes very rapidly, and that the changes are releasing you. Your focus right now needs to be on surrendering, not trying to hold on to or figure anything out. Just surrender all of it and let the flow of your life start to emerge for you. See what opportunities are coming up when you stop trying to fuss and with life. See how things get resolved much, and not just much faster, but in what way they resolve, because those are going to be incredible lessons for you, templates for you to that will impact who you are today and moving forward. Templates that you can rely on and trust, and it'll help you to relax and accept the flow, and accept that the flow is something greater and better and more deserving for you. I kind of almost wish I could just move these cards across like this and just put them all in the picture here for us. And let's take a look at the last card. And it's the 10 of Wands. And this is really just sort of like just revealing that it's okay to let go. It's okay to let go of all of that. So really be concerned a lot about what is it that you're giving too much weight to the point that it gets to be so burdensome to you, all of it. Except there's one thing in there that your heart resonates with, and it's really who you are, and being consistent and true to that thing will help so many other things to emerge and start to flow for you. So see where you're putting the emphasis where it doesn't need to be, and put it where it truly will serve you and others better. Now take a look at the card I've pulled from the bottom of the deck already. And this, I believe, so this is the 6, the Lover's card. Now, isn't that, the Lover's card is definitely a card of healing, more than anything, reconciliation, right? Um, it's a card of 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 when we stop fighting what is inevitable. Come back to that word again. Being, when we accept and embrace who we truly are, we start to find all the relationships and experiences around us align similarly. And so there's something that we need in that surrender. We are allowed to just love and be loved. And isn't that ultimately what we all want from every experience and every person that we interact with? But the only way to do that is to first be yourself. And the only way to be yourself is you got to surrender all that other stuff that's just clouding and obscuring and distorting and distracting energy that really belongs to you, that really clearly tells the universe, this is the signal of my being. Let it all flow in and around and through me. And let me finally realize that I am this flowering abundance called love. I am love. All right, so beautiful. I just want to put Archangel Jeremiel's card back here for a moment, because this is what we're going to really learn from. Got to learn from our challenges. The only way to learn is to surrender, to let the force of your source show you what it is and how it can bring and align and reconcile everything. And that doesn't mean it's going to be handled the way you want it. The outcomes are going to be the way you want it to be. But you're going to understand that everything is the way it needs to be. And that's when you'll start to go with the flow. Because our world is imperfectly perfect. And we are the only beings on the planet that can make ourselves better. So it's not like somebody's throwing this responsibility on you. It's an honor to surrender in order to make your life better and higher in integrity and in peace. So I send you lots of love this week and angel blessings. And I can't wait to see what July opens up for us. And if it takes us to the other side, or if we're in that transition now of going through that portal of peace. God bless you. And have a beautiful week.